Just over 2 weeks ago, I thought I'd be flying my Sling TSI home. Instead, a weight and balance curveball has grounded me. I honestly try and live life as positively as I possibly can. So rather than dwell on the issue of the grounding due to the weight and balance issue, I've used my time to get all of this. So the purpose of today's video is to show you the items that I've purchased prior to taking delivery of the Sling TSI. I had a heap of questions before I built this plane, and I hope to answer a few of those questions that people may have out there, but I'm also really interested in some input from the other builders that are on the channel, also owners of vans, Bristols and any certified aircraft, just to help me try and understand whether or not I've got all the items that I need. The other part that I'm sure people are tuning in for is to try and understand exactly where I'm at with my Sling TSI, and I can provide you an update with that at the end of the video. Alright, so point number one, I think this is one of the most important. You need a place to be able to store your plane. So the first thing that I did when I knew that I was going to start building a plane was secure a hangar. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to secure anything really close to my home, which is like roughly about a 3 or 4 minute drive. I was, however, able to secure a hangar at Coral, which is about a 30-minute drive, and to be honest, not bad thinking time for me. Coral is a really great airport, absolutely fantastic, but it's got a major drawback, and that is there's absolutely zero fuel at the airfield. So that was one of the prime considerations that I needed to figure out before I took delivery of this plane, around the fueling system and how I was going to refuel the aircraft. So the way I see it is you've got three main options in terms of your fueling choice. The first one is to use avgas. The second one is to use MOGAS, or the third one is to use a mixture of both of those fuels. In terms of my geographic location, it makes absolute sense for me to be able to use MOGAS. So once I zeroed in on that, it was then up for me to decide, okay, well, how do I move the fuel from a petrol station all the way to the airfield? Little did I know, this was actually going to be a really complicated task and a lot of consideration to make in terms of the transport to and from the airport. Lucky, after hours of trolling over the internet trying to figure out a suitable solution, I was able to stumble across one. Meet the AMLCaddy 110, a portable fuel tank straight out of Italy, designed for safe and easy aircraft refueling. With a 110 litre capacity, it's the perfect size for running MOGAS in your Rotax. Out of the box, you get really smart safety features, grounding points, an auto shut-off valve, a certified venting system, and here in Australia, because it's ADR approved and under 120 litres, you can compliantly fill it at a roadside servo and roll it straight into the hangar for safe, worry-free fueling. The disclaimer with that last point, however, is that it is still ultimately the servo's discretion. Quick shout out to ES Tanks, my Aussie distributor for the AMLCaddy 110. If you Google ES Tanks AMLCaddy 110, you'll see their site. Tap through and you'll land on the AMLCaddy product page. From here you can check out specs, lead times and accessories like 10 micron filters, hoses and fittings. The team's been super helpful for me, including ADR compliant transport questions and setup tips, so if you're running MOGAS to a Rotax, they're a great first call in Australia. I chose to add two particular upgrades to my unit from the stock standard model. The first upgrade, purchased direct off ES Tanks, was a 10 micron inline fuel filter. I've placed it downstream of the pump and upstream of the hose nozzle, so every drop is filtered before it reaches the aircraft. Static electricity makes me nervous, so a bonding cable was absolutely necessary. This was done by myself, tapping into my new skills learnt through the Build Assist. On the bonding lead, I've used insulated flexible stranded copper wire, about 2 to 3 metres, with a ring lug at the caddy end and an alligator clip for the airframe. The insulation protects the conductor and the serrated clip bites through paint to bare metal. Quick check with the multimeter and we were good to go. Here's my overflow setup for those rare days we need more than the AMLCaddy's 110. I run a jigless anti-static siphon from two 25 litre jerry cans that sit on a wing mat, no scratches, solid footing. The siphon flows directly into a mister funnel, so water and particulates get trapped before the fuel reaches the tank. It's simple, fast and keeps static in check. Bond first, keep contact at the funnel and let gravity do the work. The ML Caddy covers the day-to-day. This combo just tops up where we need extra. Next up, part 3 is cameras and mounts. So capturing the journey is half the fun. So I've decided to go with an N-Flight Cam exterior ball-headed mount. That's going to be mounted on the top side of my pilot side wing. So if I've got an exterior mount, then obviously I need to have a camera on that mount. I've got to be honest, I'm not keen on the 360 cameras. I just haven't seen one that doesn't make things look artificial or not real. So I'm not going to go on a 360 camera. I've narrowed it down to either the Action 5 DJI or the new Nano. I haven't actually seen one of the Nanos in the flesh, so the thing that really attracts me to the Nano is the size of it. It's so small and it will fit on the wing beautifully. I just don't know whether or not it's got the capability to be able to go on that wing, but that's the watch out for me. Bringing it back inside to the cabin, iPad. So I'm going to use a Quad Lock, which has got a suction cap. It's a really, really awesome company. I've used that for all my mobile phones and all that sort of stuff in the car. And I'm really, really happy with the quality of their products. So that one's going to house my iPad for all the map reading, etc. I've then decided to go with the RAM mounts. So I've got a suction cap option, which is going to house my camera that I'm recording on now, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So that will go on to one of these mounts, which is the RAM mounts. And I've got also one that can clip onto the dashboard as well, which I think will probably be one that I'll use fairly often. So still inside the cabin, it's on to comms, safety and survival. So I needed to buy a new headset because obviously we've got passengers that are going to come along, and it's been basically me as a lone wolf ever since I started my training. So needed to grab some extra headsets. So my set that I've learnt in was a set of Lightspeed Zulus. I've now bought the Deltas, and I also have another pair of Sierras, which I'm going to chuck in the back. The reason the Deltas in my eyes stood above any of the other brands on the market was two main things. The first one was the flight link. So it took away all the audio recording issues that I'd need to think about with leads being plugged in. So it's got a Bluetooth option that's going to be able to go straight into my phone, which is fantastic. So cockpit recording is basically done with the Deltas. But the second thing, and I think the most important thing, is the carbon monoxide detection in this headset. I looked at a couple of different options even when I was building the plane in terms of carbon monoxide detection, and I kept going back to this headset as being something that was really convenient, which would give an audible alarm in the ear to let me know that something was going on, that hidden killer. And that was what really started to turn me onto this headset. So I think those two functionalities for me, big tick in the box. So the next thing that I purchased was a pulse oximeter. So that just fits nice and snugly over the top of the finger, and it takes our oxygen levels at altitude. So there's no secret, the sling loves to go high. And obviously there's a legal limit without carrying oxygen that you can go to. But I also want to understand when I'm getting close to that sort of 10,000, how my oxygen levels are going. It's just another nice little redundancy or fallback. So that was definitely going to be on my list. So then the other thing that we grabbed was a couple of flashlights. So this was a 3-in-1 job. It's got the red, green and white. So obviously, you know, if we're flying at night time, these can come in really handy. But then also if you're caught out in the dark and you need to do an inspection on your plane or get into the engine well itself, it's obviously you need to have one of those flashlights. So we've got a couple of those, one in there for redundancy. So then the next thing that I ordered was a good multi-tool, which I ordered off Amazon. Still waiting on that one, so it's not too far away, so I haven't got that to show you, but I'll flip that in the video just so you have a bit of a look at it. It's a good multi-tool, heaps of different options. The main things that I needed there was obviously screwdriver bits, a serrated edge tool in there to be able to cut seatbelts, all that sort of stuff, a sharp hammer that I could knock out plexiglass with. Just all the things that, you know, potentially you'd need in flight in an emergency situation, or obviously if you're stuck in the outback. So I actually had a question through the channel around what Sling gives you in terms of the kit as well. Is there like a welcome pack or anything like that? And that was one of the things that I was interested in as well. I actually asked Errol what that kit involved. and he mentioned to me that it comes with a basic kit. So you've got a medical kit, the tow bar, the cowl plugs, fuel stick, fuel strainer. There's a backpack with all your paperwork and all that sort of stuff. So so that's kind of what comes with your sling kit, but I physically don't have that in my hands yet because I haven't got the plane. So I know, going by my YouTube analytics, I've still got roughly about 60 to 65% of you, and the 60 to 65% of my diehards, and you obviously want to know exactly where my plane's at. I've got something exciting to show you. So I still don't have a definitive date, but things are starting to roll. Errol's in the background, really working things out, doing a great job. And I know that I'm only maybe 2 weeks away, if that. And you guys will be the first to know as soon as it all happens. So thanks for watching today. I hope that you got a bit out of it. As I said to you right at the start of the video, I decided to put this video out because, again, I've still got questions just in terms of the whole sling buying process. I had questions around what came to you from the factory kit, but then also what are the things that you need to buy when you purchase one of these planes? What are the things that you need to be thinking about over and above? I know I've missed things and I've potentially not really considered certain items. So I'd love your help, as I mentioned right at the start of this video. Just drop down in the comment section and let me know what I may or may not be missing and some things that I might want to consider in the future. Your help would be much appreciated.